Myself, Suganya VS. I completed MCOM MPhil. I am working as a assistant professor in Department of Commerce at St. Josephs College of Arts and Science for Women. Here I am going to talk about Employees State Insurance Act 1948. ESI scheme. ESI scheme for India is an integrated social security scheme tailored to provide social protection to workers and their dependents in the organized sector in the contingencies such as sickness, maternity, and death or disablement due to an employment, injury, or occupational hazards. Coverage. The ESA Act 1948 applies to non seasonal factories using power in any employee 10 or more person, non-seasonal and non-power using factories and establishment employing 20 or more persons, employees of the factories and the establishment in receipt of wages not exceeding rupees 7500 per month are covered under the act. Wages defined. Wages means all remuneration paid or payable in cash to employee if the terms of contract of employment express or implied were fulfilled and include any payment to employee in the respect of any period of authorized leave, lockout, strike which is not legal or layoff, and other additional remuneration if any paid at intervals not exceeding 2 months but does not include any contribution paid by the employer to any pension fund or provident fund under this act, any travelling allowances or the value of travelling concession, any sum paid to person employed to defray special expenses entitled of on him by the nature of his employment or any gratuity payable on discharge. Finances. The schemes are primarily funded by contribution raised from insured employees and their employers. Payable such as employees' contribution is 1.7 percentage of the wages. Employers' contribution is 4.75 percentage of the wages. Total percentage is 6.5 percentage of the wages. Employees receipt of an average daily wage of rupees for 40 rupees or less are exempted from payment of their share of contribution but are entitled to all social security benefit under the scheme. Contribution benefit period. Employees covered under the ESI Act are required to pay contribution toward the scheme on a monthly basis. Contribution period means a 6-month time of span from 1st April to 30th September and 1st October to 31st March. Cash benefits under the scheme are generally liked with the contribution paid. The benefits period started 3 months after the closure of a contribution period. The two type of periods are allocated below. Advantage of employers. Employees are absolved of their liabilities of providing medical facilities to employees and their dependents in kind or in the form of fixed cash allowances, reimbursement of actual expenses, lump sum grant or opting for any other medical insurance policy of limited scope unless it is a contractual obligation of the employer. Advantages of employers: the employers are exempted from the applicability of the Maternity Benefit Act, Workmen's Compensation Act in respect of employees covered under the ESI scheme. Employers have their disposal a productive, well secured workplace, an essential ingredient for better productivity. Employers are absolved of any responsibility in times of physical distress of workers such as sickness, employment injury, or physical disablement resulting in loss of wages, as the responsibility of paying cash benefits shifts to the corporation of respect of insured employees. Any sum paid by a way of contribution under the ESI Act deducted in computing income under the Income Tax Act. Benefits to employees: ESI scheme major social security benefits in cash and kind include medical benefit for self and family, sickness benefit for self, maternity benefit for self, disablement benefit, temporary disablement benefit for self, permanent disablement for also self. Dependent benefit: the dependent benefit is in case of death due to employment injury. In addition, the scheme also provides some other need based benefits to insured workers. These are funeral expenses to a person who perform the last rites of IP, rehabilitation allowances for self, vocational rehabilitations for self, old age Medicare for self and spouse, medical bonus for insured women and IP wife. Insured worker and members of his family are eligible for medical care for the very first day of the worker coming under ESI scheme. A worker who is covered under the scheme first time the eligible for medical care for the period of 3 months if she contributes at least for 78 days in a contribution period. The eligibility is there up to the end of the corresponding benefit period. The work is also eligible for extended sickness benefit when he or she is suffering from any one of long term 34 diseases in the act. This is admissible after the worker has been under ESI. These conditions are satisfied. Medical benefit admissible for the maximum period of 730 days for the IP and his her family. Sickness benefit: sickness significate a state of health necessitating medical treatment and attendance and abstinence for abstention from work on medical grounds. Financial support extended by corporation is such as contingency is called sickness benefit. Sickness benefit represented periodical payment made to an insured person of the period of certified sickness after completing 9 months is insurable employment. Maternity benefit: maternity benefit is cash payable to an insured woman for the specified period of abstention from work for confinement of miscarriage or for sickness arising out of pregnancy, confinement, premature birth of child or miscarriage, cannot labor after 26 weeks of pregnancy whether the result issues is alive or dead. Miscarriage means expulsion of contents of a pregnant at uterus at any period prior to or during 26 weeks of pregnancy. Maternity benefits. Criminal abortion or miscarriage does not, however, entitle to benefit. The contribution condition is the same as the sickness benefit. The daily benefit rate is double the sickness benefit rate is thus roughly equivalent to full wages. Benefits is paid for Sundays also. Disablement benefit. Temporary disablement benefit. In case of temporary disablement arising out of an employment, injury or occupational diseases, disablement benefit is admissible to insured person of entire period so certified by an insurance medical of for which IP does not work for wages. The benefit is not subject to any contributory condition and payable at the rate of which is not less than 70% of daily average wages. However, not payable if the incapacity lost for less than 3 days, excluding the date of permanent disablement benefit. The in case an employment injury or occupational diseases resulting in permanent, partial or total loss of earning capacity, periodical payment are made the for life at rate depending on the actual losses of earnings. Capacity as the may be determined and certified by duty constituted medical board. The rate of disablement benefits are determined in accordance with the provision of Rules 57 of ESI Rules 1991 in order to protect erosion in real value of the periodical payment of permanent disablement benefits against rise in the cost of living index. Periodical increases are granted based on actuarial calculations. Permanent disablement benefits. Computation of periodical payment into lump sum one time payment is permissible where the permanent disablement stand assessed as final and daily rate of benefit does not exceed in 1.5 rupee 50 per day. Computation of permanent disablement benefit into lump sum pay amount is also allowed in case of total computed value does not exceed 10,000. The ceiling is not being raised in 30,000. Dependence benefits. Dependent benefits is a monthly pension payable to the eligible dependents of an insured person who is died as a result of an employment injury or occupational diseases. Beneficiary and duration of benefit. Widow and widows during life or until remarriage, legitimate or adopted son until age 18 or if legitimate son is informed till infirmary lost, legitimate or adopted unmarried daughter until age 8 until marriage, whichever is earlier, or informed till informally latest and she continues to be unmarried. In the absence of any widow or legitimate child, the benefit is payable to parent or grandparent for life, to any other male dependent until age 18, or to an unmarried or widowed female dependent until age 18. Other benefit: funeral expenses. The funeral expenses are in the nature of some amount up to maximum rupees 2500 rupees made to defer the expenditure on the funeral of deceased. The amount is paid either to the eldest surviving member of the family or in his absence to the person who actually incurs the expenditure on the funeral. Thank you.